7 signs you're giving too much of yourself away. Have you ever looked around at your life and realized you are there for everybody, but somehow you don't feel like anybody is really there for you? You're the one people call when they're struggling. You're the one who listens, the one who fixes things, the one who checks on everyone. And maybe you've told yourself, that's just who I am. I am a caring person. But there's a difference between being loving and giving so much of yourself away that there's almost nothing left for you. Overgiving doesn't always look unhealthy. Sometimes it looks like kindness, loyalty, being the strong one, the reliable one. Today, I'm walking you through 7 signs you're giving too much of yourself away and what it actually means to start taking it back. Stay to the end, because signs number 7 is the one most people miss completely. Before we get into it, let's name something clearly. Overgiving isn't a personality trait. It's a nervous system pattern. Somewhere along the way, often in childhood, you learned that your worth was tied to what you provide, your attention, your energy, your emotional labor, your yes. So your body adapted. It became hyper attuned to other people's needs as a survival strategy, because being needed once felt safer than simply being seen. That adaptation may have protected you, but if it's still running the show today, it's quietly draining you of the one resource you can't get back, your life force. Let's look at the signs. Sign number 1. You feel guilty when you say no. Someone asks you for something. You really don't want to do it. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you already have too much on your plate. Maybe you simply don't have the emotional capacity. But you say yes anyway. Why? Because saying no feels worse. You start thinking, what if they're disappointed in me? What if they think I'm selfish? What if they stop liking me? So instead of disappointing someone else, you disappoint yourself. Here's something many overgivers don't realize. Sometimes we aren't saying yes because we genuinely want to. We're saying yes because we don't feel emotionally safe saying no. Sign number 2. You've lost touch with what you actually want. You walk into a room and immediately notice everyone else. Who's uncomfortable? Who's upset? Who needs help? Who needs reassurance? If you're highly sensitive, empathic, or simply very accustomed to taking care of people, you've likely become extremely good at reading the emotional temperature of a room. The problem is, while you're noticing everyone else, you may stop noticing yourself. Someone asks, "What do you want?" And sometimes you genuinely don't know. Not because you don't have wants, but because you spent so long orienting around other people's needs that the part of you that tracks your own has gone quiet. This is one of the clear signs of overgiving, because it's not just about time or energy anymore. It's about identity. Sign 3. Other people's problems become your problems. Someone you love is struggling, and suddenly you're struggling too. You start researching solutions, sending resources, checking on them repeatedly. You may even lose sleep over something that was never actually yours to solve. Caring about someone is healthy. Supporting someone is healthy. But believing you're responsible for making everything okay for them is something else entirely. You can love someone deeply without carrying their whole life on your shoulders. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let another adult have their own experience, make their own decisions, and live the consequences of those decisions. Sign 4. You give, then feel resentful, but can't say why. You help. You show up. You over-deliver. And underneath it, there's a low hum of resentment you can't fully explain. Because on paper, you offer to do this. Maybe you're thinking, why am I always the one doing everything? Why doesn't anyone ask what I need? And then you feel guilty for even feeling resentful. But resentment is information. It's often telling you, I gave more than I actually had to give. Maybe you said yes when you wanted to say no. Maybe you gave from obligation instead of desire, hoping that if you kept giving, someone would eventually notice your needs without you having to ask. Resentment doesn't mean you don't love someone. Sometimes it means you've abandoned yourself in the process of loving them. Sign 5. You feel responsible for other people's emotions. Someone is upset with you, and immediately you want to fix it. Someone is disappointed, and you start questioning yourself. Someone is angry, and your whole nervous system goes on alert. So you explain, you apologize, you soften your boundary, you try to make them comfortable again. Remember this: someone being disappointed by your boundary doesn't automatically mean your boundary is wrong. People are allowed to have feelings about your decisions, and you're allowed to make decisions that are healthy for you. You don't have to manage everybody else's response to your own life. Sign 6. Your body is sending you signals you keep overriding. Your body often knows you're overgiving before your mind will admit it. Tight shoulders, a clenched jaw, fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, that low hum of I need to stop, that you keep talking yourself out of. This is especially true for healers, helpers, coaches, caregivers, and anyone who's built an identity around being strong. We become so accustomed to overriding our bodies that exhaustion starts to feel normal. But your body isn't betraying you when it asks you to stop. It's been trying to get your attention long before burnout forces you to listen. Sign 7. You don't know how to receive. This may be the biggest sign of all, so stay with me here. You know how to give, but receiving? That's uncomfortable. Someone compliments you and you minimize it. Someone offers to help and you say, no, I'm fine. Someone gives you something and you immediately start thinking about how you're going to repay them. You may even feel safer being needed than being supported, because giving keeps you in control. Receiving asks something different of you. It asks you to allow yourself to have needs, to be supported, to let someone else show up for you. And underneath it, often, is an older belief that you're only worthy of love, ease, or belonging once you've given enough, done enough, and earned it. That's not really about the people around you. It's a root wound. Somewhere, love felt conditional, so you built a strategy: overgive, and maybe this time it will be enough. But you were never meant to earn your belonging. What to do about it? If you recognize yourself in several of these signs, the answer isn't to stop caring about people. It isn't to become cold or unavailable. It's learning how to care for other people without abandoning yourself. Start noticing the moment before you automatically say yes. Ask, do I actually want to do this? Do I have the capacity? Am I helping because I genuinely want to, or because I'm afraid of what happens if I don't? And perhaps, most importantly, what do I need right now? That question can feel surprisingly hard when you spent years focused on everyone else. Keep asking it anyway. Your needs belong in your life too. You do not have to prove you're loving by exhausting yourself. You do not have to prove you're a good person by always being available. And you don't have to stop being generous. The goal isn't to give less love. The goal is to stop disappearing inside the love you give everyone else. If this resonated, let me know in the comments which sign hit closest to home. I will read every one of the comments. And if you want to go deeper into healing this pattern at the root, make sure you subscribe, because that's exactly what we explore here. I see you in the next video.